How do we make these articles? That is a question we get asked a lot. Each article you've seen in our store is 3D printed and hand painted. If it's hard to tell they're 3D printed, you may be unfamiliar with SLA printing. SLA, or stereolithography printing, uses a photosensitive resin. And because the process uses a liquid, it can be pressed into really thin layers. So, as a result, layer lines aren't very noticeable on our figures. Now, there's a couple safety concerns to address with this method. First, the resin in its liquid state is toxic, and it gets a bit messy. So, gloves are a must-have item when dealing with it. Also, the resin we use is not water-soluble. Isopropyl alcohol, or IPA, is needed to clean each print. And the fumes from the alcohol and the resin itself are unhealthy to breathe. So we wear respirators and we ventilate our space. Now we batch print our articles in separate pieces, and each print could take anywhere from 3 to 10 hours depending on the size. Once they come off the printer, we scrub and we stir each piece in a 4-part IPA bath. And to be extra sure that we've cured any liquid residue, we place each piece in a UV curing chamber. After that, they're safe to handle. But there's still more work to do. See, the fine detail of SLA printing comes at a cost. Because our pieces are suspended on the build plate, they require supports. And these supports leave small but very noticeable contact points when broken off. And these contact points need to be sanded away. Again, we practice safety here, and we avoid breathing in the dust created by the sanding process. After each article is filed away, the pieces are then rinsed and air dried before being painted. The next part is worth sticking around because it's painstaking work. We stick each individual article part to an alligator clip or a platform. This allows many pieces to be primed the same color at the same time. For some pieces, one coat of a primer is all that's needed, but for others, more painting with a brush is required. This method of painting is the reason each article is printed in separate pieces. This allows us to produce a lot more characters in a shorter amount of time, and that's super helpful for a 2-person team like ours. After the paint has been allowed to dry for a day or two, it's assembly time. For the most part, on articles, each different color is a different piece, and they're all assembled by hand using an instant adhesive glue. Once all the pieces are glued, it's now clear what we've been putting together. And that brings us to the last step, clear coating. We spray the articles with a clear coat to better protect them from wear and tear. And that is pretty much how they're made. It's a lot of work, but I hope you'll agree it's well worth it in the end. The smiles, laughter, eye-rolling reactions make it worthwhile for us anyway. Of course, I didn't talk about the 3D modeling process. That'll have to wait for another video because there's a lot that goes into that. Now, if you've stayed until the end of the video, I'd like to thank you by offering you a discount code to use on Hairebrained.com. Use HowFun24 to get 20% off your purchase through the end of this year, 2024. Have fun, and thank you for watching.